Hey guys, welcome back to Gaming with Stedman. This week I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favourite video game consoles. This is going to include handheld ones as well as normal ones. So, let's go! Okay, so first up is the Sega Mega Drive 2, I believe it was. This was one of the first ever sort of games consoles I ever properly played. I mean, you know, you got Sonic, all the Sonics, well, Sonic 1, 2, and I think 3 were on this, and they were a lot of fun. They, you know, probably my first experience playing a platformer game. I'm not sure if I played Mario at the time. But yeah, it was really good. The only thing I didn't like was the save function. I'm not sure if it had a save function. I don't think it did, because I remember playing the first few levels of Sonic over and over and over. So yeah, that got pretty boring pretty quickly, but no, it was still a good game, good games console. It had you know, things like Mortal Kombat on it as well. That was always good. You know, a lot of the original franchises came from this, so you know, not a bad games console. Next up is the Game Boy, the original, and the Game Boy Color. I'm including both because when the Color came out, I actually just played a lot of the original Game Boy games in a Color. So I'm including them both because when I was a kid, you know, this was one of the first handheld games consoles around, and I managed to get one. And I remember the very first game I got was Mario Golf, and it was okay. But you know, I then started playing the Super Mario Brothers. And it also introduced me to what I love now the most, which is Zelda. The very first Zelda game I ever played was Link's Awakening. And, do you know, to this day, I don't think I've actually done the last level. I mean, I've seen it finished hundreds of times, but I don't think I've physically done it, which I really must do. But no, the Game Boy was great. I mean, I even had one of these packs where you put the Game Boy inside a case, and a huge magnifying glass comes down over the top, and you can play it, like, massive. No, there was loads of great games. I think I had an Empire Strikes Back game, but yeah, mainly Mario and Zelda. I think I had Battleships, The Flash. Yeah, Game Boy Color came out, and you know, you got Super Mario Brothers Deluxe, so it's in color. It's just like the SNES version. So that was brilliant because you know I played the SNES a bit, and I loved Mario on that. So to be able to carry it around with me was excellent. I mean, when the Color came out, it was like you know, it just brought so much more to the games. And, of course, it had Pokemon. Hours and hours and hours spent playing Pokemon with the annoying music in the car, driving my parents crazy, which is great. Yeah, Game Boy and Game Boy Color, definitely a lot of childhood good memories. Okay, next up's the PS1. I didn't actually own a PS1 when they came out originally. I was quite late to them because I was more interested in the Nintendo at the time. However, I did play PS1 games later, and this only really makes my list because I didn't play a lot of PS1 games. I was more into PlayStation when the PS2 came out. But the PS1 games I did play were mainly Crash Bandicoot 1, 2 and 3, Driver 1 and 2, and Crash Team Racing, which, you know, was pretty much the PS1's answer to Mario Kart. And all three of those games were one thing: addictive. I played them a lot. I mean, I know there's so many other PS1 games out there that are good. I never really tried the Metal Gear Solids or any of that, but those three games were really fun for me. I played them a lot. So they make the list. That's all I have to say on the PS1. Okay, next up is the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. This was one of the first consoles, like proper consoles, I got. I think it was for Christmas. You know, I was really excited about it. And it is one of the things that got me into gaming, really. It was the first console I properly owned that I could sit down and play whenever I liked. And mainly I played Mario. I think I had Mario All-Stars, so it came with like Mario 1, 2 and 3, I think. So yeah, I had fun trying to get through a lot of those. But one of the other games I had, and was actually really good, was Jurassic Park. This game, it was kind of like a bird's eye view sort of shooter. And I can't really remember what you do now, to be honest. You just sort of go around the park eliminating the dinosaurs and stuff like that. But it did have a really good first-person view in some points indoors. I remember having a lot of fun on this game. But of course, mainly, it was Zelda. A Link to the Past was the first Zelda game I ever played. And I never really completed it as a kid. Because I must have been what, 6, 5? When this came out on SNES, but I played it for hours, usually the first few levels over and over, because they were the only ones I could do. I've completed it since, but this was such a childhood game of mine, and I'm really looking forward to the new one coming out, Link to the Past 2, on the 3DS. And I want this! Number 6 goes to the 3DS. When this came out, I wasn't actually that fussed about getting it at first, but, you know, obviously when Ocarina of Time was re-released on it, I had to. And I'm glad I did, to be honest. The graphics on Ocarina of Time are much more smooth and refined. The gameplay is just as fun. It was an excellent game. You know, I enjoyed it just as much this time as I did the first time. And it was portable, which was an added bonus. And yeah, I mean, there were other games as well that I was intent on getting, but it was mainly Zelda that swayed me. But as it did, I got the other games, including Resident Evil and Splinter Cell as well, actually, and I was really actually astounded at how well they've done it. I mean, Nintendo handheld games have always been sort of platforms and things like that. But with, you know, Zelda and this and Splinter Cell, they're very much immersive now, very much first person in the game sort of thing. And, you know, I think that's brilliant.
It's time you learned the truth, Miss Valentine.
And Mario Kart as well. Online was one of the functions that swayed me as well. I've always liked Mario Kart on the 64. I've always played it with friends over. But now you can play it online. That was great. I loved that. I played it online more than doing the actual thing. Because let's face it, once you've done the cups, there's not much to do. But Mario Kart Online was fantastic. I liked the level designs. I liked the graphics. The kite flying thing, hang glider thing, wasn't that impressed. I mean, it was alright. Bit of a gimmick. But no, the 3D of it all makes it that much more better. I mean, some people don't care. Some people can't even see it. But I really like it. I think it adds a lot more to the game. Especially on games like this, on Super Mario. I thought this refreshed the sort of platform franchise a bit. I mean, they do keep releasing the Wii one, where it's just a platformer game. And that's fine, but I really liked this 3D one, because it reminded me a lot of Mario 64, which was one of the best Marios in my opinion. Yeah, it was kind of like Mario 64, but with an added sort of 3D element. And I thought that was great, because it was kind of like the platformer, but also turned into 3D at the same time. And I much enjoyed this game more than the Wii platform games. So yeah, for me, the 3DS was a lot of fun. I loved the 3D of it. I thought that did actually add more to most of the games. Sometimes it was a gimmick. But a lot of the games on there are fun to play as well. And you can download old games. So yeah, I very much enjoyed having a 3DS.